Hello, and welcome to Spotlight on Short Lines. Today's short line is Manning Rail, which operates in the American state of Nebraska. Here's the map. Here we are in Fairmont, Nebraska, and we're driving along. We go to check out the tracks, of course, and we look down the tracks and, oh, look, there's a couple of locomotives, but we don't recognize them. So we have to go and check them out, of course. We went over to the road crossing to check for the blue sign, the ENS sign, to see whose railroad this is. And it says, Man Rail. Man Rail? Oh, I've never heard of that one before. Cool. A new short line I've not heard of. So it turns out that this Man Rail is actually Manning Rail, which is a family-owned and operated short line railroad, founded in 2012. It operates on a 7-mile stretch of track that ties into the BNSF main line, and it runs between Fairmont, Nebraska and Buras, Nebraska. The railroad is primarily used for car storage, as you can see from this overhead satellite image. Manning Rail was purchased originally in order to move grain. In the 7-mile line, there are 2 grain terminals, one at each end, one at Fairmont and one at Buras. They started by moving grain, but the substandard track conditions resulted in going into the car storage business until the line is restored, and once again the grain can be moved. Manning Rail has 2 locomotives in its roster. One of them is an XUP. It was built in 1992. That's number 2457. And at first I thought, oh, they hadn't changed this one. It's in its original paint. But if you look more closely, you can see that they have changed a little bit of the detail here on the shield. This locomotive, Manning 4605, a GP9R, was built in 1957. It has gotten around a little bit. It's been on a few different railroads. And interestingly, we actually have a photograph taken in 1980 when it was in central Vermont paint. So we've seen both the locomotives that are in their rosters, the stored cars. They're not doing any switching today, so we figure, well, we've taken our photographs. We can move on from this location, having seen another American short line. That's great. So I figured that was the end of the story, but no, it isn't, because a month later, just at the very end of October 2024, Manning Rail is in the news, and this is great news. A large federal investment has just been announced, and it's going to involve 122 rail projects in 41 states nationwide, and this is excellent news because this is going to make rail safer and more reliable in moving goods and people, which should result in lower shipping costs and less pollution. For Manning Rail, they're going to use some of this money to help restore the rail line, which they've been doing for the last 12 years, but this is going to help a lot. And rebuilding the rail line will help to connect, they figure, more than 100 producers to the global marketplace and position Fillmore County for agricultural success. Isn't that great news? Like this and want to see more? Subscribe to this channel and you'll get to see all the latest videos. Don't forget to push like and share. Thank you so much.